With the last two shows of the highly successful series, Welcome to Sweden, airing tonight on TV4, we decided to check in with American comedian and expat Greg Poehler.
I'm very excited about these last two episodes. Are great, I think, and they're really fun, and I think it's a good ending to the show. I'm writing season 2, so I've moved on. At least my brain has moved on. My heart is still with season 1 though.
Poehler wrote Welcome to Sweden from his attic nearly 2.5 years ago. It is based on his own experience of relocating to Sweden and the strange and sometimes hilarious situations that expats and their Swedes are faced with. So how much of Greg is in the lead character, Bruce?
In terms of how he deals with certain situations and how he comes across, I think we're very similar. I think he is much more naive and doesn't really isn't aware of how American he's coming across. I think that's the main difference. But otherwise, I think we're pretty similar. I like that guy. I'm rooting for him.
What were the biggest challenges when you got here?
Well, I think much like my character, I kind of moved somewhat impulsively. I mean, I knew it was coming for a while, but I didn't do much research on what Sweden was or would be like, and so I think just in general that the kind of, I think for any immigrant, when you move to a new place, doesn't matter where you are, there's this moment when you get there and you're finally settled and you realize I have nothing here. I mean, I have my wife and my son, but that was it. So I think, I think it's still an adjustment. It's been 8 years, and I'm still kind of trying to find my way and feel like I'm part of this Swedish society.
Eventually, Greg pursued his adulthood dream here in Stockholm and successfully found his way into the Stockholm stand-up comic scene.
What I did was stand-up comedy was something that I had always wanted to do, but was kind of never had the guts really to take that step. And I had wanted to do that almost my entire adult life. There's something about the immediacy of telling a joke and having people immediately tell you whether they think it's funny or not. That was the catalyst for me, is when I started doing that really as a hobby, I realized how much I enjoyed it. And then I was like, well, I might as well. I've always also wanted to act.
And so, Welcome to Sweden was conceived. Characteristic of the show are the fun cameos of famous actors or singers that appear in each episode.
Cameos were always part of my plan when I first came up with this show. I was planning on using my sister's connections. Mm-hmm. And then I think once she realized that she was going to have to call in favors, she was like, I might as well produce this show as well. Will Ferrell, I had known a little bit. He had dinner at my place here, actually here in Stockholm, when he came one year and is here every summer. So I thought there was a chance that we could get him. In fact, I wrote him into the pilot. So I was hoping we could always get him, but the fact that we did was amazing. Björn Ulvaeus, once we found out we had him, I had to write those scenes, and I did write a couple. It wasn't the most flattering portrayal of him. It was a guy who was obsessed with wearing his own ABBA costume. Talk about a funny on-set moment when we were outside the ABBA museum with Björn Ulvaeus in his ABBA costume, and people were coming into the museum. It was very strange, I think, for them. They thought maybe it was part of the exhibition. Funniest memory actually involves Patrick Duffy. We were he is so huge here in Sweden. With his Bobby Ewing is still a god, a Swedish god. And we were in a taxi that was rolling by, and then in between takes, when the director said cut, we had to roll down the window because it was so hot. So we were at a red light, and Patrick Duffy rolls down the window, and it's just him. It's Patrick Duffy there, and there's a group of 20 people eating lunch that are just now facing him, and they all start kind of freaking out. Just like, could that possibly be? And he just rolls down the window and says, "Yep, it's me." And then he starts singing the Dallas theme song. Dun, 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 dun. And then window goes up, takes off. And I hope some of those 20 people are seeing this right now, because I'm sure they've all told their friends this story. It sounds almost fake, you know. You're not going to believe what happened to me today. Pretty sure I saw Bobby Ewing singing the Dallas theme song and then driving away.
So what has been the response so far in Sweden?
I think anytime you make a show that is about someone or a group of people, and in this case it's about both immigrants and about Swedish people, so both of those sets of people, you're going to upset some people in your portrayal. But for the most part, it's been overwhelmingly positive, which I'm so grateful for. In fact, that's why TV4 renewed the show, is because it has such a high level of viewer satisfaction.
While Bruce and Emma's love refugee tale will be back next season, first be sure to catch the last 2 episodes tonight on TV4, or watch the whole series online at TV4 Play.
Hi, this is Greg Poehler, and I am actually in Stockholm, like way in as you could be. That's me right now. I'm like, I've kind of wedged my way into Stockholm in a café here. Just had some coffee and some bulle. I mean, give me a break. Welcome to Sweden.